Chapter 620. With me here. Don't worry. His eyes were as warm as the sun, and Jian Yun's irritated heart immediately calmed down. Jian Yun finally listened to Hu Liancheng's words and gave Mu Fangfang the address. It was in the tea room where she and Monica had just met. Hu Liancheng turned the car around, and Jian Yun realized that they did not walk far. They arrived at the place where they parked the car in 5 minutes. She looked at the time. It had clearly been 20 minutes. Even if the car was climbing, it should have crawled far away. I saw that you were asleep, so I pulled over and stopped. Hu Liancheng saw Jian Yun's puzzled face, so he explained and even rubbed her head. Jian Yun's hair had grown long again, and her black hair was like clouds. It complemented her small face, and the red blush on her cheeks was like a rose. It made people reluctant to look away. However, Hu Liancheng's actions that he was used to in the past caused him to suddenly break out in cold sweat today, because he recalled that his relationship with Jian Yun had just broken through ice, and he did such intimate actions. What if he annoyed her again? Hu Liancheng felt that he was too worried now. When he first met Jian Yun, she was so good at avoiding him. He even forced Jian Yun. At that time, he only wanted to keep her, but he was not as careful as he was now. I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it in for a while. Hu Liancheng glanced at Jian Yun, but he could not see the change in her mood. He could only apologize first. Jian Yun quickly looked at Hu Liancheng and only responded in a low voice. She turned her head away. Her reaction made Hu Liancheng confused. Was she angry or not? She should not be angry, right? Hu Liancheng was excited again. The car stopped at the roadside. Hu Liancheng came over to help Jian Yun out of the car, but Jian Yun did not refuse. It was still early and the tea room was relatively free. There were not many people, and Jian Yun returned. The waiter was obviously very surprised, but when he saw Hu Liancheng walking with Jian Yun, his eyes lit up and he came over very attentively to welcome her. Sir, do you still want Longjing? Or? Jian Yun looked at Hu Liancheng suspiciously. Did he come here before? I want a red robe. Hu Liancheng's face was dark as he explained to Jian Yun in a low voice. I had a date with a friend to drink tea here. Jian Yun was pregnant and could not drink tea. Hu Liancheng ordered a cup of warm water for her. Jian Yun originally thought that she would have to wait for a long time, but did not expect Mo Fangfang to come so quickly and not alone. Jian Yun looked at the pretty but proud young woman beside her, and the temperature in her eyes immediately dropped to a freezing point. Mo Fangfang entered the tea room and took a glance. She only saw a young woman. She narrowed her eyes and walked straight over. But when she saw Jian Yun's face clearly, her footsteps paused. She hesitated for a moment and asked uncertainly, Miss Jian? Jian Yun raised her head and her cold eyes lightly swept over Mo Fangfang and Liu Qiyu beside her. It seemed that the mother and daughter pair had not been living very well recently. Mo Fangfang looked much older than 4 months ago. Even if she put on makeup, it could not cover the fine lines at the corners of her eyes and her haggard and yellow face. Liu Qiyu was no longer dressed in branded clothing, but her arrogant expression did not change at all. It's me. Jian Yun only took a glance before she retracted her gaze. She did not get up to welcome them and just sat there steadily, like Mount Tai. Her voice was faint and her expression was even more indifferent. However, Mu Fangfang and Liu Qiyu revealed shocked expressions when they heard Jian Yun admit her identity. You are Jian Yun? Liu Qiyu had an expression of disbelief. Jian Yun picked up the cup of water and drank some water. She did not pay attention to Liu Qiyu. Actually, she did not want to see these two people at all. The moment she saw these two people, it would remind her of the humiliation she suffered that night. Is this your upbringing? We are standing and you can actually sit still? Liu Qiyu stared at the woman's flawless, white jade face in front of her, and felt a surge of jealousy in her heart. She must have made a mistake somewhere. How could this woman be Jian Yun? A few months ago, she was clearly skinny, like a ghost, and her expression was not good. Her ugliness made her feel disgusted. Of course I can sit still. Of course, if you don't want to stand, you can kneel. Jian Yun drank water again and did not even raise her eyelids. What she said made Mu Fangfang and Liu Qiyu's expressions change on the spot. Jian Yun, what kind of attitude is this? You dare to make us kneel? Please pay attention to your identity. Liu Qiyu was furious on the spot and pointed at Jian Yun and scolded. She blamed everything that happened to the Liu family and the destruction of the Mum family on Jian Yun. If it wasn't for this slut, how could Hu Liancheng have attacked the Liu family? He had even destroyed the Mu family. Mu Fangfang did not stop Liu Qiyu from scolding Jian Yun. Although her purpose of coming to Jian Yun today was to apologize, from the bottom of her bones, she did not take a liking to Jian Yun at all. Therefore, she kept a very high profile. From the moment she recognized Jian Yun, her face was sullen, and she did not speak. It was as if she still had the noble demeanor of a general's wife. Furthermore, Jian Yun's impolite behavior made Mu Fangfang very angry. In her opinion, she had already lowered her status and came personally. Jian Yun should be moved and not be like this now. Not only did she not appreciate it, but she even dared to speak rudely and arrogantly. "I'm always better than Miss Liao." Jian Yun put down the cup of water and did not fear Liu Qiyu's imposing manner in the slightest. She still had a cold and indifferent manner. "Don't not know what's good for you." Liu Qiyu was about to go crazy from anger. She thought to herself, as the daughter of a general, when had she ever been humiliated like this? "Miss Jian, we are guests. Is this how you treat guests?" Mu Fangfang could not bear it either. She did not notice that the temperature in the tea room had suddenly dropped. This room clearly had a heater on, but there seemed to be a cold wind whistling around, making her shiver for no reason. "The visitor is a guest. But you are not my guests." Jian Yun naturally also noticed that the air suddenly became cold. She knew that Hu Liancheng was angry, but she did not want him to come out yet. So she stretched out her finger and knocked on the table as if she did not notice. In the room less than 2 meters away from Jian Yun, a plant separated 2 rooms. The man's anger slowly dissipated due to the soft knocking. However, the coldness in his eyes seemed to freeze even more. He was very clear that with Jian Yun's character, if she did not hate those 2 people to the extreme, she would not have said such disrespectful words. So, that night, what did Mu Fangfang and Liu Qiyu say to Jian Yun? Liu Qiyu felt that she had been insulted and was also extremely angry. She did not notice the abnormality in the tea room. Looking at Jian Yun's cold expression, she only felt that it was extremely glaring. "Jian Yun, don't be shameless," she continued. "Don't think that just because there are a few people praising you on the internet, you can live comfortably and let Brother Liancheng change his mind to protect you. If you don't know what's good for you, don't blame us for making you lose your reputation again." Losing your reputation again? The corner of Jian Yun's mouth curled up into a cold arc as she lifted her eyes. Her eyes were bright and she did not conceal the ridicule in them. "All right. I also want to see what kind of despicable means the dignified general's estate can use to deal with a weak girl like me." "You are a weak girl?" "Ha, what a joke. If you were a weak woman, you would be able to scam so much money from our family? You are a liar. If you still have any pride, return the house and money to me." Liu Qiyu was so angry that she went crazy. Back then, she had said that Jian Yun, that slut, could be easily dismissed. None of the family listened to her. Grandfather and father were in a hurry to ask the Mu family for help, but they actually gave such a sky-high price. Just based on Jian Yun. Is she worth that much? It was simply infuriating. Jian Yun was not angry. She only looked at Liu Qiyu and raised her eyebrows. "Miss Liu, pay attention to your wording. From the beginning until the end, it was your Liu family who took the initiative to give me money. I just feel that since you guys are so sincere, I can't fail to appreciate favors, right? Don't you think that you are very shameless?" Liu Qiyu was extremely angry and her hands were trembling. She had never seen such a thick-skinned person before. Sure enough, she came from a lowly background and was not worthy to be seen at all. "I don't think so. I think you guys are even more shameless. Since you have already given it to me, how can you still take it back?" Jian Yun smiled gently. She was originally light and beautiful. With this smile, her bright eyes seemed to have ripples. Hu Liancheng, who had been staring at Jian Yun, suddenly felt that the plants in front of him were really in the way. Those 2 noisy, stupid women were even more annoying. "All right, Miss Jian, cut the crap. We did not come this time to listen to your sarcastic remarks." Jian Yun's smile in Mu Fangfang's eyes made her feel that it was very glaring. Moreover, she also understood that although there were not many guests in the tea room, it was hard to guarantee that there would not be people who would listen to the commotion here, recording or taking pictures and so on. Once it was uploaded online, the Liu family would also be in big trouble. Her life in Liu family now was not easy. If she provoked trouble again, Liu Shigong would definitely not let her off. Thinking of this, Mu Fangfang's heart could not help but tremble. She glared at Liu Qiyu and was a little unhappy that Liu Qiyu could not hold her anger the moment she came in. She was provoked by Jian Yun's few words. Xian Yun saw the change in Mu Fang's expression, and also saw Mu Fang's expression suddenly change. She pulled the resentful Liao Qiyu to sit on the chair opposite her. She narrowed her eyes and hid the cold light from the corner of her eyes. Miss Jian, a straightforward person does not speak in secret. The reason why we came this time is because we hope that you can let bygones be bygones. Back then, it was our fault, and we can apologize to you. Mu Fang had an arrogant expression as she looked at Xian Yun from the corner of her eyes. Although she tried her best to hide it, she could not hide the humiliation in her eyes. She felt that with her noble status as a general's wife, she was going to sit in this shabby tea room and apologize to a lowly woman. It was a disgrace to her status and self-esteem. Let bygones be bygones? And then? Xian Yun suddenly laughed when she heard that. Her fingers also lightly tapped on the table, making a push 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 punt. Mu Fang coldly raised her head and raised her chin as well. She looked like a noble lady from a wealthy family. Then I hope that you can post a post on the internet and clarify a few points. Firstly, the Liao family did not treat you unfairly and did not humiliate you as mentioned on the internet. Secondly, you were the one who took the initiative to divorce Hu Liancheng, and no one forced you to do so. Thirdly, you don't need to announce this on the internet. I'm the one who wants you to stop and let us go in private. So this is how the general's wife begged people. Xian Yun's expression had always been indifferent, and did not show any joy or anger. Even if Mu Fang made such a rude request, her mood was not affected at all. Instead, she felt that she had come to the right place today to watch such a good show. Don't flatter yourself. Who is begging you? My mother begged you. Do you deserve it? Liao Qiyu was furious when she heard that. She looked like she was insulted. She immediately stood up and once again pointed at Xian Yun's nose and scolded. Qiyu, sit down. Mu Fang's expression was also very ugly. She gritted her teeth and stared at Xian Yun. She also looked like she was humiliated. Mu Fang was currently in a very bad mood. If it was not for Liao Shigong forcing her, she would not have come to King Hu to receive this anger. Originally, she thought that as long as she came to apologize, it would be fine. Who knew that Xian Yun's phone could not be called no matter what? A group of photos of Xian Yun and Hu Liancheng suddenly appeared on the Skynet a few days ago. It instantly stirred up a wave of heat. Then, a few insiders appeared out of nowhere and exposed the matter of Liao family and Mu family collaborating to bully Xian Yun. It immediately caused the crowd to be furious. In addition, some people deliberately brought a tempo. Now the public opinion on the internet had been one-sided. Although the netizens did not dare to openly oppose the Liao family due to the Liao family's power, the popularity did not diminish. It was hard to guarantee that the Liao family's political enemies would not use them to deal with the Liao family. As for the declining Mu family, they had already been scolded for 18 generations. Under such circumstances, only Xian Yun could personally post an explanation to appease the anger of those netizens. Therefore, even if Mu Fang was unwilling, she could only come personally. Miss Jian, even if I beg you, tell me. How can you post an explanation? Mu Fang saw that Xian Yun did not speak for a long time, and was anxious in her heart. She really could not sit here for a moment. General's wife really likes to joke. Xian Yun hooked her lips, and her cold eyes swept across Liao Qiyu and Mu Fang's impatient faces. Let's not talk about how I've already divorced Hu Liancheng as you wish. I have nothing to do with him now. Why should I help you persuade him? Besides, your Liao family clearly mistreated me everywhere and said that I am a lowly ant that can be trampled to death. They even kidnapped my mother and threatened to divorce me. They captured me and brought me to the capital to interrogate me like a criminal and force me to divorce. They even promised me that they would sign the divorce agreement. You can still be a concubine. Could it be that they're not humiliating me? Xian Yun's words made Mu Fang's face turn green and white. Liao Qiyu tightly clenched her fingers, wanting to refute, but found that she could not find words to say. As for the second point, it was indeed I who took the initiative to propose a divorce. Xian Yun's mouth twitched and she nodded, as if she agreed with Mu Fang's words. Then she changed the topic. But did the general's wife forget what you said that night? Without waiting for Mu Fang to speak, Xian Yun already smiled, but her smile was full of ridicule, and her eyes were full of coldness. She coldly stared at Mu Fang's white face and said, You brought the big miss of the Mu family to have a heart-to-heart talk with me. You want me to recognize my conditions and say that I am not worthy of Hu Liancheng and cannot climb up to your Liao family. You even said that I am not even qualified to carry shoes for Miss Mu? Could it be that the general's wife has forgotten all these words? Jian Yun specifically emphasized chatting. The expression on her face was also indifferent, as if she was really grateful for Mu Fangfang's teaching. On the other side, when Hu Liancheng heard these words, his heart was already extremely angry. If not for the fact that he still wanted to know what happened later, he would have rushed over and slapped those two idiotic women to death. I don't have a good memory after I got pregnant. If I remember wrongly, the general's wife must remind me. I am not like you guys. You guys did not dare to admit it and still want people to help you clarify something. Jian Yun smiled. The water in the cup was a little cold. She waved her hand to call the waiter. Please add some hot water for me. Thank you. Mu Fangfang's expression was ugly. She gritted her teeth tightly, and her eyes seemed to be entangled with a poisonous snake. She stared fiercely at Jian Yun and wished that she could bite this damn woman to death. You uncultured Liao Qiyu could not hold her anger and wanted to scold Jian Yun again. She even reached out her hand to slap Jian Yun. Shut up. Mu Fangfang gave a fierce look to stop Liao Qiyu's actions. She was really careless. She originally thought that as long as she came, a little pressure would make Jian Yun yield. She did not expect this woman to be so difficult to deal with now. Whether it was Mu Fangfang or Liao Qiyu, they did not notice that there was a pair of extremely cold eyes staring at them from not far away. I remember that night Miss Liao was also there. She said that I was a woman with a husband. She said that I used to be a prostitute. I have many customers, from an old man in his 70s to a beggar on the street. As long as a man gives money, I will not reject them. She also said that I am carrying a bastard. Serves me right to have an abortion. You even cursed me for not having a child in my lifetime. Even if the child is born, the child will die. She continued to be able to say such vicious words. You really have a good upbringing. When Jian Yun said these words, her originally rosy face suddenly turned pale. Her eyes seemed to have been sharpened by a knife. It was bone-chilling cold. No matter how others scolded her, she could endure it. But she could not bear to see her most precious treasure being cursed so viciously. She could now recall how angry she was when she heard Liao Qiyu's arrogant insults. She was so angry that her entire body trembled, but she could not do anything. She only refuted Liao Qiyu's words and words to control her, and was slapped on the face by Liao Qiyu. At that time, her body was already very weak. She was so thin that she was afraid to see herself in the mirror. Her energy was also not good. She had insomnia all night and was humiliated by being interrogated like a prisoner in Liao family during the day. Her spirit was on the verge of collapse. But they still felt that it was not enough. It was. Could it be that I was wrong? Liao Qiyu saw that Jian Yun still dared to use her words to stop her. She deliberately mentioned the young miss of the Liao family. Wasn't she mocking the uncultured Liao family? This made Liao Qiyu feel that her dignity had been insulted. You are a slut. If it was not because of the bastard in your stomach, why would Lian Cheng force you to have an abortion? It was because he found out about the ugly things you did. In the end, you still have the nerve to divorce brother Lian Cheng. You made my sister sad. You deserve to go to hell, you bitch. Liao Qiyu's voice was fierce. Her originally pretty face became twisted and twisted because of her viciousness. When she finished speaking, she was almost shouting. Mu Fangfang was also really angry. She felt that Jian Yun did not know how to appreciate favors. So she did not stop Liao Qiyu from insulting Jian Yun. Is that so? Jian Yun took a deep breath and tried hard to suppress the anger in her heart. She saw that she had already walked towards Mu Fangfang and Liao Qiyu step by step. Hu Liancheng's handsome face was as gloomy as hell. He blinked his eyes. Her voice was cold and her lips had a smile. But I feel that even if we are going to hell, you guys are the first to go down. Isn't the Mu family finished? It's all because of you, you slut. I'll beat you to death, you evil spirit. This time, even Mu Fangfang lost control. She suddenly stood up and reached out to hit Jian Yun. The Mu family was her mother clan. In just one night, they were destroyed. All of her reliance was gone. Now that she had lost her position in the Liao family, she thought that all of this was caused by Jian Yun. Jian Yun grabbed Mu Fangfang's hand. When she saw Liao Qiyu pouncing over, she picked up the cup on the table and poured it over. It's so hot, my face. Liao Qiyu immediately let out a shrill cry and squatted on the ground, wailing, Mom, my face hurts so much. Kaya. Mu Fangfang also panicked and quickly broke free from Jian Yun's hand. She turned back to check Liao Qiyu. When she saw Liao Qiyu's face was red from the heat, she suddenly turned her head and glared at Jian Yun with resentment and roared angrily. Bitch! Why are you so vicious? Is it that vicious? Xian Yun looked up and saw Hu Liansheng, who was shocked by Mo Fang's action, and the few people in the tea room. She smiled coldly. When you hit me that night, you said you thought highly of me. I only said that to you today. I thought highly of you when I splashed your hot water on you. She continued because of Miss Liao's face. I feel disgusted. I am helping you get plastic surgery. No need to thank me. Bitch, I'm going to kill you. Liao Keiyu was in extreme pain. She felt as if her entire face was on fire. She screamed desperately, wanting to rush over and tear Jian Yun apart. Miss Jian, we sincerely came to apologize to you. What kind of attitude is this? It's fine if you don't accept our apology, but why are you so vicious and want to use hot water to splash Qiyu? You all saw it. Why aren't you calling the police? Mu Fangfang tightly pulled Liao Qiyu. She was extremely angry and roared. She also saw that someone was looking at her, so she deliberately said that she was pitiful. Her goal was to let people condemn Jian Yun. Furthermore, the matter of Jian Yun splashing Liao Qiyu today was also witnessed by so many people. She did not believe that the police could still protect Jian Yun. No matter what she said now, she would not apologize like this slut anymore. She was not worthy. Malicious? Jian Yun slowly stood up, and the smile on her lips did not change. Speaking of the word vicious, who can compare to the general's wife and mother? She continued, could the two of you have forgotten? That night, Miss Liao kicked my stomach. Hu Liansheng's body shook when he heard her. His face turned pale. Mu Fangfang seemed to have just seen Jian Yun's bulging stomach. She was so shocked that her eyes widened. She sat on the ground with a face full of fear and disbelief. You didn't. Yes, I lied to you guys. I didn't abort. My child is fine. Speaking of which, I have to thank the two of you. If you didn't show me those pictures, I would still be deceived by Hu Liansheng even now. Photos? What photos? Could it be that Jian Yun's attitude changed drastically because of the photos Mu Fangfang showed her? Hu Liansheng had always suspected that there was a reason why Jian Yun's attitude was too resolute back then. But no matter how he investigated, he only found out that Mo Fangfang, Mu Wanru, and the others had called Jian Yun that night. After Jian Yun came out of the apartment, they sat in the Mu family RV. He did not know what happened in the car and what happened afterwards. Now hearing Jian Yun mention that Liao Qiyu had not only hit her, but also kicked her stomach. At this moment, Hu Liansheng felt a surge of anger that carried a huge and gloomy coldness. This space suddenly became as cold as hell.